Ethan joining the show now as the mayor of the great city of Danbury. It's Joe Cabo. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hang on a second? I'm just dropping my first chicken off at the spa.
Good he's tuning in.
Look, I love this. We got another Chicken Man fan out there. How do you pronounce the last name of the Public Works Director?
Ayarola.
Okay,
that's easy.
And hopefully you can get us in touch with him. We could talk about that later off the air. But so I started a dialogue yesterday, and it's going to intensify today because I wrote an article about this Long Ridge Road paving project. And basically, it's going to be first to be paved as part of 12 miles of road improvements in the city. And no big deal. That should be good news to everybody. But, of course, I see the glass half empty, and I just decided to make a big deal out of the fact that I didn't like the optics, the phrasing, that Long Ridge Road, which is a scenic road that is not heavily trafficked, will be first. So I started that conversation. What do you have to say about that, Joe?
Okay, so Long Ridge Road should have been paved last year. It was on the paving list. It was identified probably the year before or maybe even the year before that as going to be needing to be resurfaced. And so we got into our paving season last year, and at some point in the process, I think it was July, maybe close to August, the city's corporation council identified the fact that scenic road designations just can't be paved. And it was really, that road, part of that road was designated scenic in 1994 by a council at that time, and a request from the citizens who lived on that road to sort of try to protect its beauty and, the aesthetic nature of that road. And it came back to light in 2009. I think Bethel wanted to put a water tank out near the Eureka Reservoir, and I think some of the residents petitioned for, some residents petitioned against expanding the scenic road designation for Long Ridge Road. And so with that, sort of unbeknownst to, the council and the folks in the process, you couldn't put a shovel in that road without city council permission, public hearings, and it wound up delaying the process to a point where we reached the time where paving season was technically over. And so the road was in, really bad condition last year, and we get that. But we just couldn't get, and then after the council approved it, there had to be, I think, a 60-day waiting period before any work could happen. And so that put us into November, I think. And so it just couldn't be paved. And with these protections, come some things like you would think that paving would be allowed, but it's not. You're not allowed to take a tree down. You're not allowed to put a curb in. You're not allowed to do anything on the road unless it goes through this whole process of hearings and city council approval, and then this cooling period, I guess you would call it, before the paving could happen. So, we wanted to make sure that last year we finished it up, and the cooling period happened over the winter, which was great. And so we, made a promise to Long Ridge Road residents that we would take care of the paving of the road first thing in the spring.
You happy now?
Now, listen, I understood all this yesterday. So the couple of things here I think are important. I got to hedge my statements because everyone flips out. Mm-hmm. I do understand the scenic aspect of it and how much more work that created for all y'all. I do understand how much complaining it took on behalf of the residents of the road to get action there. I'm not minimizing this as something that should or should not be done. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. I'm saying if you don't live on Long Ridge Road, the perception, the optics, if this is not your road, literally, if you don't live on it, everyone else is looking at it and going, why them first? That's what I'm saying. And I'm not yelling at you, Joe. That's all.
Right, no, that's okay. And I think what happens is, you have to start somewhere. That was a holdover from last year's list. So naturally, if it was something that affected you and it didn't happen last year, right, you would expect it to be first on the list, in the next available time. And so I think what happened is, Long Ridge, Grand Street, they're all being worked on. Stanley Rough Road, Great Plain Road, they're all in process right now, being prepared to be repaired.
Here's what I got from that conversation.
We're not just working on Long Ridge Road.
Yeah.
You have to understand there are processes happening on a lot of the roads that are intended to be paved this year, because you have to get out the storm drain crews, you have to replace the storm drains, you have to work on some of the drainage issues, and so it's not like we just bring the box paver out and just start paving. Those concrete boxes have to be replaced, and so that's all going on now throughout the city on a lot of the roads that are identified that are going to be paved this summer. And then once they bring the pavers in, the pavers are going to go to work and pave. And so
here's what I got from that last conversation. How much fun politics are. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy, I don't know how you do this.
Whoa.